They were never such devoted sisters.
We're not sisters, by the way.
Oh my gosh, this is the most random question anyone has ever asked ever, and my answer will surprise you.
Little did I know it would change my life. Legally?
No.
I'm not proud of that.
Hi.
Hi. We look like twins. Oh my god.
Sisters.
That's actually
sisters.
creepy.
They were never such devoted sisters.
We're not sisters, by the way.
People know. Behind the camera, you're hearing some WrestleMania. We're just gonna do a little life update, Q&A, chatty, hang out with us because we haven't done one of these in so long.
Yeah.
Asked on Instagram for some questions. There's a lot of them. So
Is there?
we can dive right in. Oh yeah, we got options.
Okay.
We got a lot
Let's
of
find
options.
some goodies. Elsie's ready to answer this one.
People want to know the story of how you ghosted me.
We met on Tinder and we went for a first date in October. I had gone on like a lot of dates. Then my grandma died
Yes.
shortly after. Between the first date and when I went home for my grandma was probably like a week maybe. And in that time I was just busy.
Yeah.
So when I went home, I think I finally replied to you.
Oh yeah, she like wasn't answering
wasn't
my
answering.
messages, like nothing.
But I had a lot going on at that moment.
And I just didn't give up. I just kept messaging
You kept messaging me like every once in a while. And then finally I was like, I guess I'll reply. She's persistent. But I did ghost
me.
I wouldn't have messaged you. Like if you hadn't persisted, it wasn't because I didn't like you. I actually gave you a high score on my Tinder rating.
Did you have like a notebook or something?
My roommate and I, and we would rate my dates. And you got a very high score. So it wasn't that I didn't like you.
And now?
So it was I didn't
10
mean
plus
to
years
ghost
later.
you, although I was honestly the queen of ghosting. I'm not proud of that. I was a bad ghoster.
Wouldn't answer people.
Yeah. I'm not proud of it. That's a bad thing to do.
I feel like I'm your longest term person.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess
married.
and we've been together over 10 years.
I think you're my longest term. I dated for like a few months.
Although you had girlfriends that lasted longer than I think your boyfriend.
Not really long though. Not long, I think.
I don't know.
That was like 2 months maybe.
Okay.
That was only like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
She lived with you.
Don't say that.
Book update.
Soon.
We can give more
We
details.
have to wait. They said you have to wait. I don't know
Yes.
why. It's not my forte, so we just listen.
Yeah.
But-
But we can give a writing update because you
Yeah.
guys don't know. So
That's
we spent all of January really working on the second draft of our book.
It was busy.
It was
for a
really
little while
busy
there.
for a while.
We're done the second draft. I
Yeah.
don't know. Again, we don't know how many drafts are there. Will they
don't
just keep
know.
coming back with drafts?
Yeah.
But it's moved on to copy editing.
Yeah.
So like the content is all there.
And I will say
It's
that
moved on.
the difference between version 1 and version 2 is like draft 1 and draft 2 is
Definitely.
like very big. Like
Yeah.
there was quite a
We
few.
did a lot.
Not changes, I would say. There wasn't a ton of changes. It was a lot of additions.
Yeah.
It was add more of this, add more of this, add more of this.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like adding a lot more meat to it and information, and hopefully it'll be good. I don't know. I'm feeling proud of it.
So it's not going to be too long.
Oh my gosh, this
What?
is the most random question anyone has ever asked ever, and my answer will surprise you.
Okay.
Would you ever get a pet raccoon? I had one.
Wait. Who asked that? I need to know the thought process behind that question. Why did you think of
It's
that?
the only question they asked.
That
too.
is so interesting.
Okay,
All
and
right.
the answer is I have had 2 raccoons in my life.
Legally?
No.
Why? I know the story, but like you can't just say that. It wasn't recent, okay?
No, it wasn't
She's
recent.
not having illegal animals.
I don't have any illegal animals in our house. My grandmother works in animal welfare, rehabilitation of wild animals, and there were 2 raccoons, 2 baby raccoons, 2 different instances of their parents dying, and she took them and was raising them. And there was one, his name was Jenkins, and he was so sweet, and we'd bottle feed him, and he'd cuddle, and he was like the sweetest little baby. He'd run after you in the lawn. I loved him. He was very nice. So I wouldn't say he was a pet, but he needed to be raised, and we raised him, and he was lovely. And hopefully he is now out in the wild eating whatever raccoons eat. I don't know. What's your favorite book of all time?
Of all time?
All time. What's your favorite?
Does it have to be fiction?
No, it can be anything you want.
Click.
Oh my gosh, you were obsessed with that book.
There is this book. Where is it?
We don't have a copy.
We should have a signed copy,
We don't.
Well, it should be on the shelf.
It's not on our
Where
shelf.
is it? Well, I worked at the library. It was never been checked out. And I felt bad for the books that were being discarded that had never been checked out. That's strange.
No, I actually feel the exact same way, so I get it. I 100% feel bad for books.
And I said, I'll have it. Little did I know it would change my life. It was just about like manifesting, but in a kid mindset. Sounds really hokey. At least it gives you a positive outlook. Yeah. It gave me a positive outlook on life. That's my favorite book of all time.
I love it.
What's yours?
Good question.
Sounds like it's going to take 7 hours for you to answer.
I have a lot of problems picking a favorite anything because, like, how do you decide what's the best? You know? Because I like a lot of things. Yeah. So I will say one of my favorite books, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Okay.
That's a really good book. I would have said the Harry Potter series in the past, but now I don't think I'd say it.
So you don't have like a long time favorite?
Well, I did.
Harry Potter.
And yes.
And it's like feels a little.
It's been ruined for me. So I don't know. I don't know, guys.
Okay. Let's go
but
on.
That would have been my longtime favorite.
I can see this turning into a book video.
It's not a book video. It's not a book video.
If you don't follow her book channel, you should, because then you can listen.
I talk about books
a lot. So
I
then
love
you can get in depth on all your books. Okay.
So people have asked a lot about what trips we have planned for this year. Someone specifically asked if we're going to California.
Oh, as of now, we actually don't really have any trips. We have Montreal.
We're going to
meet
Montreal. Up with the donor siblings.
And otherwise, like, we have local trips, but nothing that I feel like is a trip.
I will say we're going to Newfoundland this year, and it is the only province I've never been to. I've never been. I think that we should also extend it, and there's like an island that's technically France just off the coast, and I think we should go there. Maybe we will, but I've never been to Newfoundland. We're going to Newfoundland, so
that's true. We are going to Newfoundland.
But normally, we go to the U.S. in the winter for like a few weeks, and I think we've decided we're not going to do that. We were looking at going to Mexico, going somewhere else warm,
down south, like an all-inclusive.
Then we talked to one of our friends who just got back, and she was hospitalized
for the whole trip.
They think she got poisoning, sick. Some kind of bacteria. They think,
and like also when we went before, you did get sick.
I did get sick.
Thinking if we're gonna do a big trip with the boys, I want to make the most of it. Our last big trip to California, we had norovirus and lost like half of our trip.
Although we did go to New York after that, and that was
that was amazing. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna do a warm trip this spring.
No,
and
maybe
we'll just save up.
Maybe we'll go to Spain.
Maybe. I feel like we'll probably just save our money.
Well, we want to do a Europe trip this year for the four of us.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be our big trip. We'll see.
So
we don't have anything planned, which is so unlike us.
Super weird.
How has our relationship changed since becoming parents?
I don't know. How did I think?
I think we have less time for each other.
We definitely do.
Maybe fuses are a little bit shorter because of overstimulation.
There's only so much.
There's only so much of you to go around.
There's only so much patience, and if it's used up.
Mm-hmm. And this is a little bit of a you thing.
I sleep less.
You sleep less, and you're a cranky person when you don't sleep enough.
If I get a good sleep, I'm better.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm just awful.
Yeah.
I wish that was something that could change. But it's like, I actually can't change
You've always been like that.
I've been like that since the day I was born. And my parents were like, this is kind of like the girl.
So I would say, like, in general, less time for each other. Because we just have less time.
Well, there's just less time.
In life, because they take up a lot of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have 2 kids.
Yeah.
And then fuses are a little bit shorter, and we have a zoo. And I think that we're both, like, always a bit overstimulated from the zoo.
I can't even listen. I have trouble with sensory things, so it's really bad for my ears.
I'd say that. What would you say?
I say the same.
I still like you.
I hope you love me.
I do love you. I mean, though, like, I like you as a person.
Oh,
like, you know, like, I love you, of course. But I still like you. Like, you're not getting on my nerves or anything. Well, no, a lot of people, like, you know, struggle when they have toddlers and babies. I, like, don't resent you for anything.
Okay, that's good.
Would you ever breastfeed?
Me?
Yeah, like if we, asked if we have like a third baby and I carry it, would you breastfeed?
No. It's just not something that I wanted to do ever.
No.
It's not for me.
No.
I wouldn't do it. It takes a lot of work and I don't know how people do it. It's amazing. It
is a lot of work.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah. That's okay.
Not for me.
Not for you. So a lot of people have weirdly because I'm very confused as to why so many people are interested in this, about my nationalities. There's so many questions about if I'm Irish, if I'm Polish, if I'm Canadian. Like, there's so many all around me.
Well, tell them. You're not Polish.
I'm kind of Polish. Here, can I insert my
so
little
funny.
thing?
Okay, this is so funny. I grew up near Canada's first Polish settlement. Mm-hmm. So all of my friends from home are Polish. I'm very immersed in the Polish world. Mm-hmm. So when we met, your last name ends in SKI, which is very common for a Polish last name.
It is a Polish last name.
My parents were like, no way, you found a Polish girl. Just like at home. And I was like, oh, I'm Polish. Then you did Ancestry DNA.
Guys, I'm not really Polish. I know you see my last name and you're probably like, wow, she's...
And you're definitely not like immersed in any Polish culture.
No, not at all.
It just happens to be your last
comes
name.
From my grandfather. That was my grandfather's last name, so my mom's last name, and then my last name.
How is he not Polish with the last name?
It's his biological father's last name. He wasn't raised by him. So I'm mostly now English and Northwestern Europe, which has changed. Okay, does anyone else's ancestry DNA change like all the time? Because mine does. And then I'm Irish, and then I'm Scottish, and then I'm Swedish, and then I'm a mix of Central and Eastern Europe and Germanic Europe, which have a crossover of Poland. So I think that's what happened there. Lots of curiosity about it. I think it's because it's just such a unique last name.
It's a very unique last name. And maybe if other people are Polish, they're like, oh my gosh,
maybe. I've never been to Poland. We want to go to Ireland.
You don't even like pierogies.
Irish.
They're Polish.
Are they?
Pierogies.
No. Also, a lot of questions about like if we consider Nova Scotia home, if we want to stay here forever, if we want to stay in Canada forever, if we want to move to the US.
I feel like we will stay. I don't think there's really anywhere else in Canada I would live except Montreal.
And I wouldn't really like to live in Montreal.
I don't know, like, can you really leave the ocean? No. Even though we don't go every day to the ocean, it's just nice to know it's there if you want to.
Yep.
It's like laid back in the Maritimes.
Yep.
It's a different way of life. Like, it's very slow compared to like where I grew up in Ontario. You go to Ontario, that's a different vibe than the out east.
I don't know. I was born and raised on the East Coast.
Yeah, so you don't know. I've lived in both. Yeah. And I can very strongly say it is a different
People
population.
do say that about Maritimers.
In the East. Like, I can't leave it. So, I think we'd stay. Well, first of all, logistically, you can't just move to another country. So it's not like we could just move to the US. We can't. Like,
not to the US.
It's not easy.
I would love to
Even
live
before, though, like, when I really did want to move to California, can't just move.
We haven't actually looked at moving to California.
Yeah, we looked at different visas. It's not easy to immigrate to another country. Like, it's a very difficult process. We wouldn't move anywhere.
I wish we could live in Australia. I loved Australia, but it's so far from everyone we know.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't.
And I like the vibe. I've never been, but something about the vibe of the UK makes me want to live there. But again,
no.
Both are an ocean away from our families.
Yeah.
And it'll probably not happen.
I don't think we'd move.
I don't think we'd move either.
Maybe like different parts of the Maritimes or something.
You think?
Like all around the towns. I don't know. That's the only places we go.
I can't see you moving.
I wouldn't go to New Brunswick.
You'd move to the island?
I mean, if we were like, oh, we're gonna go for the summer. I don't know.
Actually, I'd get a cottage in the island. On the island. I love it. Like in the summer.
Like I'd live there over anywhere else in Ontario.
Yeah. Don't even say that. My
mom
would be.
She'd be here packing.
Oh yeah, she wants us there. Can I be your dog and smell your feet?
No. First of all, my dogs don't smell my feet. That's very strange.
Anyway, the camera's about to overheat, so that's what that means. It's been on for too long.
Okay, well, hopefully there was one good question in there, folks.
Hopefully.
And we will be back soon with vlogs. Very soon.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, bye. We'll see you soon.